So for my small garden waterfall water feature, I wanted to add some colour for both looks and practicality. I thought it would be good to see the water flow, and I believe that colour in the water, especially blue, can also help reduce algae growth. Research led me to a couple of different options, including shop-bought food dye and specific water pond dye, both harmless to wildlife. Although no fish will be in this water feature, animals could still drink from it. So initially I decided to try the food dye colouring option, as this appeared to be the cheapest and most convenient route. So I went to my local Tesco's and I bought some blue food colouring. The only food colouring they had was gel and their own brand of 60mm at £1.30 a bottle. I'm sure I read that I wouldn't need too much food colouring, but as you can see, I used around 40ml and it had no effect on the water whatsoever. It just seemed to dissolve and dissipate. Also on test in a glass, it was also cloudy or opaque, so not really the effect I was going for, as I obviously wanted to keep the water as clear as I can. So I next thought about trying another shop for a different brand, but then I also thought about Amazon, and after finding a few products and looking at reviews as well as thinking about the costs, I settled on purchasing and trying Hydra Blue Liquid Dye. So rather than wasting any more money on food colouring, especially as I may need numerous bottles to get the effect I want, although other brands may prove better results. So one Sunday evening I took the plunge and I spent £15 on a 250ml bottle of this Hydra Blue Liquid Dye that supposedly can treat up to 31,250 litres or 6,875 gallons of water. With Prime delivery, it did arrive the next day, although at 7:55 in the evening, so a bit late to do anything then. So bearing in mind any cleaning, water changes, rain, adding of water, this does appear to be a much more value for money option. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we get. As you can see, it comes in a sealed packet, I guess obviously to help protect against any potential spills and obviously reusable. So we have the 250ml of the Hydra Blue Liquid Dye and a pair of gloves. So quick look at the dye, sticker with batch number on. Blue liquid dye gives rich blue finish to water bodies, deep natural mirror-like finish, safe for fish, plants and animals, UV inhibitor and blocker. Pond water dye reduces sunlight and helps eliminate algae. 250ml treats up to 31,250 litres. Okay, so let's have a look at the back. So Hydra Blue Liquid Dye plus protective gloves. So it gives a rich coloured finish to water, lasts for months. With the minutes of applying the product, the pond water is coloured, enhances the reflective properties of the pond and water features, creates a stunning background for water plants, completely free of pesticides and herbicides, food-based dye, harmless to filters, floating plants, aquatic life and animals. Do not allow liquid concentrate or strong solutions to come into contact with stone or dyeing of surfaces could occur. Only add to water bodies where there is agitation. This is to ensure adequate mixing. So 5ml treats up to 625 litres or 138 gallons. 25ml treats up to 3,125 litres or 688 gallons. And 250ml treats up to 31,250 litres or 6,875 gallons. Well, my water feature is nowhere near 625 litres, so I should have plenty to fulfil the needs. Factors to take into account. Water temperature and degree of agitation will influence speed of dispersion. The original watercolour will affect the final colour. Before adding more dye to increase the colour density, wait for at least 24 hours to ensure that the original dye is fully dispersed. Remember, it is easy to add extra dye but impossible to remove dye from water. The water will have to be retreated as required. This will depend on rainfall and other localised conditions. So note, shake well before use. Keep out of the reach of children. In case of contact with eyes, rinse immediately with plenty of water. Wear rubber gloves to prevent staining of hands. Note, actual colour may vary depending on the pond water conditions. Do not use with chlorine or any other products unless specified by Hydra International Limited. So using air pumps. Aeration via a pond pump and diffuser system will greatly speed up the pond's natural biological action, which removes the excess nutrients that feed algae. And blanket weed also helps reduce water oxygen depletion from dying algae and blanket weed. Remember, when using air pumps, keep it running 24/7. Do not switch air pumps off at night, as this is when pond's oxygen levels are reduced and they are at the lowest levels just before dawn. And the contact details: Hydra International Limited, based in Milton Keynes. Telephone numbers, emails and faxes. Okay, let's see if I can now get it into the water feature. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put the gloves on provided, as I definitely do not want to be staining my hands. then hopefully I wouldn't have to do that, so I've now got to break this seal. Okay, so I'm only going to start off with a small amount, as apparently you can use 5mm to treat 600 litres of water. I definitely haven't got 600 litres, so I'm just going to start off with about 1 ml and put a few drops in at a time. So I'll just rest that on there. Okay, so let's try a couple of drops. I can see immediately after putting this dye in that it is definitely reacting differently to the food colouring I was putting in. I can already see a colour shift just through that drop or a couple of drops. So I think I'll put another 2 drops in and then leave it and see how we get on. As you can see, I've got a bit of a foam problem. It has been worse, but I have got some foam clear which I'll also be treating with as well. Okay, let's give it a few minutes and see how we go. Okay, so it appears to be a slight colour change. Not really enough yet to affect the water when flowing down the waterfall bits. So I think I'll put a few more drops in. Sorry, it's been about 20 minutes. So I'll put a few more drops in, but I'll aim it up here a bit further. Whoa, see that change? Let's get one over here. Now I'll put one in the middle section. You can see it's starting to spread out. And if I put one more, I think 2 more in this bit, it should equal about 10 drops I've put in so far. So again, so again I'll leave all this to dissipate for a few minutes, so give it another half hour then come back. So it's now been a couple of hours and you can see there's a slight tint to the water. Obviously in the deeper water it's more effective, but I'd still like to see a little bit more colour coming down the waterfall. So I think I'll add either a few more drops or the remainder of the dye. So as I said, I have currently put in about 10 drops, so probably just under half a mil. So let's look at getting the rest in. I will put some in here and then probably some in the other sections, just to let it flow and mix quicker. You see here I'm trying to put it by the pump so it gets drawn through better. Okay, so it's the following morning, and as you can see the colour has settled quite well. Waters are quite still, so it gives a nice blue appearance. See how the water flows a bit later and what the colour looks like coming down the waterfall. But I am happy with that. It's taken quite well for just 1 ml of dye, though I might experiment with adding some more at a later point. But before that I will be doing the foamicide and treating the water feature, and probably also giving it a bit of a clean as well. Okay, so if you made it all the way through, thanks for watching, it's much appreciated. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Obviously I'm trying to reach the magic 1,000 on subscribers, so any subscribers will be much appreciated and returned. So if you like it, please leave a comment, let me know, or also leave a comment if you think there's any ways I can improve. But thanks for watching.